Hey, welcome to another episode of Stage Door, theater podcast hosted by a couple of regular guys, and we cover all the stuff in Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan. So if that's where you live and you love theater, you're at the right place. I am actually live. No, let me rephrase that because we're recording this, obviously, and I listen to it live. I am on location at the Toledo Rep, sitting on the stage, looking out over the audience. Set pieces are all in place, and I am with Barbara, the director of the show, and I am with Natalie, one of the stars of the show that they are about ready to produce, called American Son. So I originally didn't have you guys scheduled in. We had all these things, all this stuff going on already, but then Bonnie got a hold of me and was like, "Oh, would you be interested in doing this show called American Son?" And I said, I don't, what? I don't know anything about the show. And then she started to tell me about it. And I thought, yeah, let's make room for this show. This seems like a pretty cool, pretty topical kind of thing because I've never heard of this show. I didn't know anything about it. And she gave me like a 2-second little thing. And I was like, shh. Let's talk about this actually on the podcast. So who wants to tell me, talk all over each other, it's always good, what this show is even about? Because I bet since I didn't know what it was about, there's a lot of people out there who don't know what it's about.
Well, yeah. It's not about what you think it is. It's not about headlines.
Oh, see, I'm already wrong then.
I was going to say, what
I
you
like being wrong, no. I embrace being wrong a lot on this podcast, so it's good to learn.
Not so much wrong. Let's just say it sort of, the temperature, the climate is kind of like that, but the focus is not.
Okay.
It's not about protests. It's not about brutality.
Okay.
It's not about that, but certainly in the climate that we know today. So it's relevant, but it comes from the it's actually shot through the lens of the family and the marriage. It's looking at racism through the lens of this marriage of this biracial couple. And each of their own approaches to the marriage. They have a biracial child. So you look at this couple and you hear what they say about how they brought him up or what values they gave him. And the values are good, solid values. Be kind, be help the elderly, be frugal, make good choices, make good decisions. But in this situation, how much of it is black, how much of it is white? So it's about identity. And Natalie plays the mom in this show. And
yeah, I guess I don't understand what you mean by how much of it is black and how much of it is white. I don't get that. What do you mean by that?
Well, there's a line that's kind of, I found really interesting. Natalie's character says to her white husband, he hates the white part of himself.
Oh, okay. All right.
So by that, we've got the white father, a black mother, raising this child with their own history, their own backgrounds, their own education, with their own experiences.
Now, does he say that in the beginning, or is it because of the events that unfold in the show, does he all of a sudden say, man, I hate the fact that I'm part of this culture
it takes
that
a
is
little
just
while.
Terrible?
It takes a little while into the show. You meet the family under kind of tense circumstances.
Right away, it's tension.
Just right off the jump.
Right away.
Go
Go ahead, Natalie.
Right from the get-go, I'm a mother who is distraught. I'm trying to figure out what has happened to my son.
Okay.
In the summer. I don't want to give a lot away.
Well, I want some detail. You
I
gotta give some,
know.
or nobody's
some
going to come see
detail.
it.
I
can't give too much.
We really can't because, then the cat's out of the bag. I don't want to do that to you.
Some
But I can give you some.
Yeah, some.
My son is bright. He's extremely talented.
Okay.
And something has occurred where we have gotten to an argument, and he has left.
Okay.
I cannot find him. So I'm at the police station distraught, trying to figure out what has happened to my son.
So that's what happens. We open in the police station.
Okay, so right away you're in the police station. You're
Bing, bang, boom.
You're distraught, and when I hear the word distraught, I can't help but think of Harry Potter. It's like, I'm distraught.
Diagonally.
So you you're distraught. I don't know what other word I could use.
Yeah,
in that
well,
situation.
we don't want
At
to
wit's
telegraph
end.
anything.
No.
No,
I just
too
don't know where he is.
prematurely.
Oh my gosh, you are so keeping this tight to the vest.
We gotta.
So tight to the
we
vest.
gotta.
So I can make up whatever I want then? And
No, you need
All
to
right,
be
see?
in the moment with us and go on the
Yeah.
journey.
Okay, but we can't do that for this. So
I understand completely. But like Barbara said,
Yeah.
my husband and I, we are separated.
Oh, see, I didn't
see,
catch
there's
that
another
part. I didn't
fact
catch
for
that.
you.
So you're
Look at
you're
that.
not.
I was like,
together
what can I
anymore.
say that's kind of general?
Yeah, okay.
We are separated. So
Uh-huh,
that's
and,
another layer.
And you're at a police station
Yes.
looking for your
He hasn't come home,
son.
and it's
He
very
has
late.
not
It's
come
4 in
home.
the morning, and the son hasn't come home yet from an outing the night before.
Okay.
And
And it wasn't even a planned outing. He just up and-
Because you
Right.
and him had an argument or something went on, and he was
Something
like,
went down.
I'm out of here, man. I don't need this from you anymore. He's a typical teenage guy,
Yes.
probably, right? A little bit
Yes.
more.
Yeah.
But
And
you
that's
said he was
brought
a
up
good
too,
kid. You
you
thought
know.
he was a good
He's a phenomenal kid.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
see, everybody has those moments. So it's probably just a moment in his instance that was going on that if he, had kept a cooler head, but it's hard when you're a teenager.
Yes.
Because you don't got all those neurons coded yet. and you
they're
make
not firing
you make
correctly.
irrational decisions that you
well,
didn't
it's even
think about.
mentioned. That exact thing is mentioned
Really?
in the show when they talk about he's going through this awakening. He's finding himself. The one cop says to her, "Well, a teenage boy, he's probably doing what typical teenage boys do."
Yeah, which is, what? I don't know what that means. See? Uh-oh.
Hanging out with
Chilling.
his friends,
Chilling.
with a girlfriend on the beach.
Oh, he's got a
someplace.
girlfriend. All right. On the beach somewhere.
Maybe.
Maybe possibly. But that's what the cop is trying to tell me
Yeah.
to appease me. Is like,
To-
look,
to
he's a
say,
teenage
calm
boy.
down, Mom. It's
Calm
probably
down,
okay.
mother. That's correct.
Oh, you can't tell moms that. What are you, crazy? That
That
just makes them
ex-
more mad.
yeah.
What is wrong with
Right.
you?
Yeah.
I don't
Mama bear
tell
comes
my
out.
wife that.
They
Calm
won't go
down,
well.
Mom.
That
You're
will not go down well.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not going to. None of that's ever going to happen. You just got to listen. That's what you got to listen and try and figure out some stuff. But this is abnormal for him. So you're like, this isn't right. So he should be home. He's a good kid, and he's not. So we need to figure out what's going on here. And then there's obviously some black and white tension in this show. Then
There is.
because you mentioned it.
There is, and the as I said, it's kind of hard to maybe wrap your head around the fact that racism is seen through the lens of this relationship, of this marriage, and how do you raise a child from a mixed marriage? And there are comments that they each make to each other that suggest a bit of racism.
On both sides?
It's not cop against black or white person necessarily, although there is some hint that there may be some of that as well from police in the station. But most of it comes from when the husband enters and they have been separated for a few months, and the reactions and responses they have to each other and to the situation. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. It's not my fault.
So normal kind of divorce.
Who's to blame here?
I guess I'm trying to figure out where the racial part is, because this all sounds like this would happen on a same race situation too.
And it is.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
would, but
what-
there
there
very much is.
There are nuances. Though.
nuances
There
though
are
that all of a
huge
sudden are like,
nuances.
oh, now it comes out. That kind
And
of
we're
thing?
not beating you over the head with it. We're not
Okay.
carrying placards and protests.
Well, that's
and,
good. It'd probably be an
and
obnoxious story
police
if they did that.
brutality and
Yeah.
all of that comes straight from the headlines and is unfortunately part of our environment now. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that it is.
Yeah.
But when you just sort of isolate this family, it isn't all black and white.
No, of course not. These are real. Why would it be, right? I don't understand comments like that, I guess. It's like, well, yeah, these are the kind of issues you have in every family. It doesn't matter if you were green. What's the difference?
Exactly.
So why did you want to do this role, though, Natalie? I mean, you
The script is phenomenal, for one.
tell me about it. No,
See, you're going to just trick me, right? That's
no,
what's
I wanna
happening. You're
hear
just going to trick
why.
me.
Because I haven't seen you around in town. And like I
I've
said,
been
I
I've been
shop.
here and there and a few other places, but
Okay.
This is my first role where I've had a lead type
Okay,
of role.
all right.
I was recently in the Sunshine Boys, actually,
Oh, okay.
as the registered nurse at the village. But the script is very well written, very
Mm-hmm.
thoughtful. There are times where I see myself in Kendra. Quite easily, actually. Funnily enough, when I read the script for the first time,
Kendra's the name of the lead.
Kendra's the name of the lead.
Didn't even get that out of you. You guys are so tight with you. Wouldn't even tell me what the
let it
names of the
slide. Oh, no.
So sorry. But I myself, I've been married for almost 20 years, and my husband happens to be
In real life?
happens to be a German-American man.
Uh-huh.
So we are, I mean, I don't mean to make but we're as different as night and day. But
Oh, wow.
wah, wah.
You went there, didn't you?
I did. I had
said
to.
that.
But
Okay.
literally, I mean, I'm from the city. He's from the country.
Oh, boy. Where's he from?
He's from here, but he's from just outside of White House.
Okay.
And I grew up right by UT.
Gotcha.
So we're.
That's me and Tom. I live right by UT, and he lives in White House.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
So, I mean, just in our own relationships, we had a lot of different. I mean, I wouldn't say difficulties, but just differences. Just differences, just cultural differences that
Right.
that you will see will come out.
That's
in the script as
everybody,
well.
though.
Is that it is everybody?
So my
However-
children are young, and they
Yeah.
have little relationships, and it's like they go over to spend time with their significant other, and they realize that maybe that family does things that are weird. And it's like, it's not weird, it's just different.
It's just different.
Yeah. Sorry,
And
you
that
were gonna say.
depends on how you were raised,
Yeah.
too, I mean, but we all have our internal biases as well. We may not realize them until it's, right smack dab in our face. And I think this play will help you to realize that.
And that's why you took it?
That's one of the reasons why.
Okay, what else you got?
Well, Natalie and I are both board members on ACT. This is
Oh,
a
okay.
collaboration with Actors
Oh, this is another
Collaborative.
collaboration with them as well?
Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
very cool.
So the Rep and ACT are doing this together. This play was selected 2-3 years ago, way before COVID. And of course, it didn't get produced because it couldn't. But it never sort of left the thinking of these two theater groups that this is a story worth telling.
Yeah, when you get a story, a good show, you're like, well, we're not going to dump that. Let's
Yeah,
keep it
so we
somewhere.
brought it back after a couple of years and decided to do this in collaboration with the Rep. And it's just as a director, it has been so meaningful for me because it is so now it's well written, but there are some things that maybe I disagree with the author, but
Yeah.
it'd be kind of fun to talk to him about. There's some contradictions in there, but for the cast and I to work through that and to find those things and to talk about it. They develop their characters based on research, based on rehearsals.
Based on research, you're researching this?
Yeah.
Is this a true story?
No, not necessarily, but there are references made that we're like, what does that mean? So I look it up, I'm like, oh, now that line has a different meaning now.
Oh my gosh, you guys are serious about this.
Well, you
stuff.
gotta be. When something doesn't make sense, you gotta talk it out with your fellow cast and/or research.
You have to make it authentic.
Yes.
You can't. We're not pretending here. We're telling a story.
Oh, I like that.
And to say otherwise is not a good thing. It's kind of an insult to what we're
Disingenuous.
doing.
And insult, that's a good word too. Nice.
For instance, the idea of a liaison officer. I started,
What?
that was my face a
liaison
few months
officer?
ago.
What's that?
A
What's that?
liaison officer. Who is that?
Oh.
What do they do?
I have no idea.
What kind of job? What?
I don't know.
What do they?
They got a gun? And a badge? That's
They-
all? I would think they're just
It
like any other
depends.
officer.
It depends.
What is it?
Sometimes-
Tell me. I need to know now. You've teased me so much with it.
Well, if you'd be quiet. I'll tell you.
Wow, this is
Good
how
luck.
she directs it.
Actually,
it's fine.
a liaison officer can or doesn't necessarily have to be a police officer.
Oh.
In our case, he was trained as a police officer and is now the liaison officer. They aren't in the field. They don't work cases. They don't do CSI. They're not detectives. Simply said, and obviously it's more complicated than this in any given precinct, but simply said, these people are the liaison or the bridge between the community and law enforcement.
Okay.
They're the explainers. They're the bridge. They're the connection to explain, to bring together, to create some sort of understanding. And so having referenced that and looked at that research, it changed my viewpoint as a director on how we need to portray that individual.
Gotcha.
He's not a gun-toting guy.
No. He's a
he's
guy
a
who's going
common
to collaborate
sense-
communication.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is a
because they're going to
very
talk
different,
like crazy.
different kind of cop.
Cool, yeah.
actually.
Because the cops are going to talk cop talk, and and the regular community people are going to talk, their talk, and he's got to figure out a way to get them to understand each other.
Absolutely.
Basically. Although I would say, why can't the cops figure out communication with the community? Because they're part of the community too.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Shouldn't be that much of a reach for them, but
Right.
okay.
That would be nice.
Man.
It's a very thought-provoking play.
Okay.
And again, you talked about certain personal biases that you sometimes are not really aware of or don't pay much attention to. But this play had me up nights in terms of, oh, I never thought of it that way.
Right.
Or, wow, that's me. I don't, whoa. And hopefully what we can do for this community of theater goers is to maybe have them ask some questions, to maybe rethink a philosophy or a way that you approach your community or racism or bigotry or just your relationship with the police, and how you really think about that. Sometimes you really don't know until a situation presents itself. And wow, I've had some very sleep awakening moments.
Well, questioning is always just being ignorant. There's nothing wrong with being ignorant and being in your own little bubble of life when it comes to like you said, eye-opening. But trying to become not ignorant, obviously, is the goal in life.
Right.
I hope.
Having empathy is very important.
Of course.
You know,
yes.
knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you can understand, the more you can be a part of not a black or white race, but the human race, and know that we all have and share the same sort of, whether it's a teenage problem, a teenage kid, it's the same. It's this awakening these teenagers have. I don't care if you're purple from
Right.
the planet Xenon. Their teenagers do the same thing, probably.
More than likely, yeah. They're out
so-
going to the beaches and drinking with their girlfriends too, probably, right?
No doubt. No doubt. And like I said, this isn't, I wouldn't say, right, Natalie, it's not a beat the audience over
No,
the head.
definitely
with,
not.
You will learn about
No.
this.
It's
kind
not
of thing.
an afternoon
It is
special.
subtle.
It is
Good.
very
nuanced.
subtle. It's so nuanced. And I think you're going to identify with at least one or two of these characters. You will see yourself in someone on this stage easily.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Easily, for sure.
Good.
And it's only 3 performances, Mother's Day weekend. So,
It's all just Mother's Day weekend?
yeah,
Correct.
Friday,
Wow.
Saturday, Sunday.
Cool.
And, yeah, it's just worth it. Of course, we want to sell tickets.
Of
but
course.
this is a play that deserves to be seen, but mostly it deserves to be heard.
Heard for sure. Yes.
Anything else, Natalie?
I hope you come and help support the arts. This is a wonderful piece. And I think you'll come away from this play with some questions
Good.
and some thoughts.
And that is what theater's about a lot,
It
I
is.
think.
It
It is a
is.
lot about like bringing awareness, bringing questions, making people think. It's not just always fun and games.
No, I mean, and then again, I mean, that's fun too.
Yeah, I
but,
like
know,
fun
it
and
should
games,
also
too.
make you think. It should also make you ponder.
And the cast is so solid from the onset of rehearsals. We've been in rehearsals 4 or 5 weeks now, and it was almost an immediate connection. They just seemed to meld together in understanding what we had to do. It's incredible.
I
mean,
believe,
that
well, if
doesn't
Natalie's any
always happen.
representation of the whole cast, then I come up here and she just starts talking to me like she's known me forever.
I'm very welcoming,
That's good.
very soothing.
I like being welcomed.
But no, honestly, I mean, I am the only female in
Oh.
the cast, FYI. But the guys have been tremendous. So much respect, so much attention, and questioning. Like, are you okay if I approach you this way? Is it okay? And like, thank you for the request for consent. Yes, I consent.
Oh.
So welcoming.
All right.
And we're very careful about how I treat, make sure that the actors are safe, not only physically, but emotionally
sure.
safe. And feel
Well, this sounds
safe.
like a show that would need to maybe have a couple pauses from
It
time
is.
to time. Yeah.
It is, because there is an altercation that does require special choreography.
Yeah, and special emotion draining and all that kind of stuff. It's
Exactly.
like, okay, after this, everybody, let's start. Let's sing a happy song.
It's all about trust. Yeah, this
Oh yeah,
trust.
that's
And
great.
making sure you decompress at some point in time that night. So
Nice. Well, I appreciate you letting me slide you in here, obviously, and talk to you guys real quickly. Right before you guys are going to start your rehearsal,
Right.
We're sitting on the stage. We've moved the chairs. We got to move them all back. But I appreciate you, let me bug you guys.
Pleasure talking with you.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes.
Cool, bye.
Thank you.
It's another great conversation. I just love sitting down, talking with people who love theater, people who love what they're doing. I want to give a special thanks, though, to Bonnie Herman. Bonnie Herman reached out, told me about this show, made me aware of it, and I just want to thank her, because anybody else out there who has great suggestions for shows, things that are going on, please send them our way. We can't possibly know what's going on with all these things, and we definitely don't know about all the shows. We make that clear all the time in our conversations. So, anywho, hey, go on to iTunes, go on to Spotify, give us a 5-star and give us a review. Always appreciate it, okay? Thanks again for listening. See you next Friday. Bye.